Greetings and welcome to the Lamenters. The crew is back and they are now very well equipped as they head south away from the town of Lee and Castle Lee with a cadre of 12 soldiers on horseback and a group of laborers and other soldiers in tow. So your kind of train of people who are rallying for this cause are following along, and you guys head south. You get to the bridge, and at that point, the whole train kind of stops. A bunch of the men who are going to stay behind and the laborers start like unloading the wagons and getting the tools out. Some of the other soldiers kind of fan out and kind of ride along this side of the river. They ride out and kind of do a scouting, like a perimeter kind of scout. And after about an hour, everybody comes back. You guys do your head count. And the initial kind of basic fencing barricade is ready to be put in place. And the blacksmith is actually kind of the foreman of the laborers. And he kind of looks to you guys and lets you know that your time has come. So you guys with your 12 cavalry men, you cross the bridge and they follow you and they put up the first barricades on the other side of the bridge. And they start, you see, like, as you guys are now on the other side of the river, you see that they're bringing more and more supplies and they're starting to build like fencing along the bridge. And these barricades that they're setting up are right now just the framework. They're not really sturdy, but they're the framework. And you can kind of see what they're doing in terms of building these palisades that they will ultimately mirror on both sides of the river to prevent any crossing on the bridge and also any crossing or easy crossing by going down into the river and coming up on the other side. So you guys are on the other side of the river, headed south, and ahead of you looms more of the forest. And you know you've got a good ride if you want to make it to Oak Point before dark. So you move out. Unless you guys have any other interest in stopping, exploring, investigating, I'm going to assume that you guys are moving at a pretty good pace, like trotting / galloping. Okay.
It would be useless to stay in one place for long.
So with that, you guys give me a rough like riding order, not marching order, but like you could go 2 by 2. So who's like up front?
I'll be. Elena's up there too. She's a pretty good scout.
He's most definitely in the middle.
I'll be bringing up the rear.
I'll be in the middle as well.
Okay, so Freya and Elena are kind of up front. Good and Gizmo. Credo and let's say Credo is with kind of right behind Good and Gizmo, and then you've got the cavalry guys.
Are we making a quick stop by the Kerr family to let them know they can go up to the bridge, or?
So that will be your choice. So you guys ride at a pretty good pace for a couple hours, and you're well on your way. And as you're riding, it's, remember, it's still early, not early in the morning, but it's probably like 10 a.m. by the time you did the whole stuff with the bridge. You guys are riding, and the 2 people up front, Freya and Elena, something that you've noticed is the absence of wildlife. In the previous times that you have come through the forest, which now have been many times, there's always, squirrels, different kinds of birds, even, you've seen deer running through, other ground critters, raccoons, that kind of stuff. But it is peculiar because you have not seen any forms of life in the forest during this trip.
Okay.
You continue your ride, and at a certain point, you guys hear a screeching sound, and it kind of sounds far away, and it kind of sounds like maybe like a barn owl's sort of screech or like a hawk screech, but it's really far away. But you two up front kind of hear it.
You hear that, Freya?
Yeah, that's scary. What that was, whatever it was.
Sounds a little familiar.
Yeah. I haven't seen any wildlife either, so I wonder how the Kerr family and their guests are doing. There might be something happening around.
Hopefully they're all right.
You guys continue riding, and at about 3 miles later, you see movement, not on the path, okay, but like up ahead through some of the clearings in the trees. You see shamblers, you see zombies just slowly kind of moving, and it seems like the sounds of your cavalry riding has kind of brought them to alertness, and they're starting to kind of shamble towards the road. As you're riding, you see them and just fanned out, spread out throughout the woods. It looks like there's maybe about 12.
Watch out, we got some shamblers. Aim for the heads only.
Okay. You guys keep riding?
How far away are they from the path?
The closest ones are like 30 feet from the path, but they're like 60 feet ahead. And they're you feel like if all of you ride fast enough, like if you gallop, you could probably ride through, or it might be close, but the rest of them, it looks like they're further away from the path. They're more spread out in the woods, and they were all heading kind of north. Like, so you were riding towards them, and on both sides, they were kind of spread out in the woods. But the two closest to the path look like they're about 30 feet away.
All right, fellas, double time. Move it.
Okay.
As we're galloping by, I do have my mace ready just to smash one if it gets too close to my horse. Okay.
So here's what happens. You guys all gallop by. The last 3 sets of riders have to make an attack, because just as they're passing by, the zombies are approaching. So I have just rolled 6 dice. 5 of them miss, and 1 is a nat. So the zombies do not stop your cavalry. Okay. But the last 2 riders, one of them gets like swiped, and then the other rider like just decapitates a zombie. Like axe through its neck, head goes flying. So you guys all keep riding, and about like 200 yards up, you hear from the back, like one of the men call like, "Oh, slow up. I think we've evaded them. Hold up. Heinrich is wounded."
Slow down.
The rear.
And you see basically like the guy in the back, all the way in the back, the 2 pair that got kind of attacked. The one guy is like, his right arm is bloodied, and he's kind of like makeshift wrapped it with some of his shirt, but it's bleeding through, and he's like, the thing clawed my arm and ripped my flesh open. And they're like, all right, hold on, let's get some proper bandages on there. And the men kind of start, they pour some water on the wound and clean it off, and kind of stings, and then they wrap his arm.
Pour some alcohol on it if you got it. Clean it out.
Well,
do we know how fast this disease travels?
Don't think so.
You know how fast the people who are dead can turn, but even that seems variable. For example, when Terran turned, it took a long time to turn. When Igar turned, it was pretty quick. So that seems variable, but you aren't sure how long, or even if a claw would create a zombie.
Shall we attach a tourniquet and remove the arm?
The soldier's like, no.
Just clean it out.
Clean it out. We'll keep an eye on him.
Keep an eye on him.
Have the guy right in front, one of us.
Quit scaring the
When
lad.
you lose a turn, you can just lob his head off.
Oh, Elena. I like to scare them.
The other guy with the axe, the guy with the axe who decapitated the other zombie, is like, I will ride in front with Heinrich. It's fine. We can go up front.
Yeah.
Very well.
So after they bandage him up, they kind of pull up front. Let me move them on the map. And by map, I mean the text box that I've created using ASCII. So they are now up front. Freya and Elena, Roll Good and Gizmo, Credo, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 11 and 12 are the two guys that are up front now. So you guys continue right.
I didn't mean all the way up front. I meant up 2 or 3 rows forwards of.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Or in front of Roll Good or something, you know.
They'll ride after Credo.
Yeah.
And that way, when that guy turns into a zombie, Credo can be bitten.
Again.
Death.
Fight this, Bill.
All right. So you guys continue.
I ain't dying today.
You by 1 in the afternoon, you kind of break through the last of the dense forest, and you are in the open lands. By 2 p.m., you are within sight, about a quarter mile from the Kerr farm.
Anything shambling around?
Nope.
Okay.
There's smoke coming out of the chimney?
Yes. Yeah. And as you get closer, you notice that there are some zombies that have been snared by Matthias's sharpened spike barricades, and they're like flopping, but they can't move. They're stuck. And you see Matthias's daughters are out in one of the interior pastures with the cows, and they kind of turn and see this colonnade of people riding, and one of them runs off towards the house.
All right.
Shortly thereafter, you see 3 people come out of the house with bows, and Matthias is one of them. And they kind of jog down to the gate, and you see Matthias kind of like blocking the midday sun, and he's looking out over it, and he waves towards you guys.
Now I'm going over for a detour.
You guys go up the path, and you don't get too close because the zombies are obviously like aware of you now, and they kind of are turning and clawing at the air, but they can't move. And Matthias kind of walks down the fence away from them, and he looks up and he says, "Well, looks like the cavalry has arrived from Castle Lee."
How it looks around here?
Well, it's been busy, as you can see. And he points to the 4 zombies that are spiked and flailing around. He says, "Last night was particularly busy, my friends. There was a whole horde of them that came out. Whatever was going on there over at the village, they must have gotten through last night."
Which direction did they went?
Well, the ones that we saw, I didn't go down to town. Mind you.
Just once you saw.
Yes. He looks over to his son and he says, now, Jules, how many would you say there were? And his son says, well, there were the 8 that we shot, Pa, and those are the stacked up ones over there by the south pasture. But I'd say there was probably 20 or 30 total.
Are they heading in specific direction?
And Matthias says, well, if by specific direction you mean towards the woods, then yes, they were all headed north. Now, some of them came over by us and we dispatched them, but the other ones didn't seem to take an interest. They all just seemed to be kind of headed north towards Leetown. And
okay.
Now that's all the ones that we saw. Like I said, we haven't left.
Yeah.
How are you guys holding up now? Are you still okay, or?
Well, we're okay. Provisions are sufficient at this point. I wouldn't say that we're flush, but okay. As long as none of those things break through any of the barricades, we've been okay.
Okay. Because we've been, there's reinforcements over at the bridge, blocking the bridge for any zombies coming further north.
Well, did you see any zombies in the woods when you all came down this way?
Oh, yeah. And we even got a little harassed by them. But
well, how many were there? Were there 20 or 30 of them?
Around 12?
About a dozen or so.
8 or 10, I thought. Something like that.
Well, how many did you say there were in the village when you all trapped them?
60.
Probably around 60 or so.
You see Matthias go, well, I'm not the most learned man, but if my numbers are correct, that means about maybe half of them passed through here last night heading north. Where'd the other half go?
We expect them to make a delivery, so they would head whenever they were.
They might not have been from the town.
Yeah, we're gonna go check the town shortly.
Yeah,
we'll find out whether you're right or wrong.
Well, as far as I can reckon, my friends, best thing to do is avoid them. Keep them at a distance. And if you're a good shot, shoot them in the head.
Yeah.
Lena pats her 2 quivers full of arrows.
Okay.
Sorry, both of you talking at the same time was difficult. How about you, Freya? What was that you were saying?
Like I said, it was you talked about headshots. How are you for your arrows? How are you doing?
Well, we were able to recover the ones from them that we killed over by the south pasture.
All right.
And if anything, it's more just well, we got plenty of materials for fletching that we collected along the way here, but well, I'd say we're pretty good. Food's pretty good. Water's okay so far.
All right.
Can I ask you about? It was 2 days, 1 day ago. There was a screech in the forest, pretty loud one. Have you heard it too?
Can't say I have. No.
Okay.
And again, we haven't gone. We haven't left the farm. We have not gone hunting in, well, at least a week.
You won't find much luck out there through the forest. We saw almost no animals.
Yeah.
Why do you suppose that is?
Suppose those zombies have something to do with it.
They're either scared away or the zombies used them for dinner. I don't know.
Either way.
Well, that's unfortunate. Woods were always a pretty good source of trapping rabbits and hunting deer, and that's all right. We got plenty of grain stored up, and chickens are staying healthy and laying eggs, so we'll make do with what we got for now.
We'll survive.
Yep, it won't have to be for much long, but we won't take much more of your time now.
Well, let's hope that Lord Lee's men over there helping you all out can get things back to normal.
Yeah.
Has anyone
sure gonna
noticed
try.
if this disease has affected the animal at all?
If the what?
If this disease, pandemic, has it affected the animal at all?
We haven't had any problems with our livestock. Now, of course, you know, in the early event of this, before we were able to shore up the fences, some of those things got through and got to one of my dairy cows. Not, you know, but it didn't. If you're asking if it came back like they do, no. Then again, we didn't give it too long of a chance. After we killed those things, I don't want to take any chance with diseases, so we burned it.
Good.
Of course, that's what drew the other ones. That's how we learned that they're not as dense as they might look.
There is just a lot of them.
We could use that denseness to our advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Could set a distraction, bring them to one spot, and then move in and sweep them up.
Well, however you do it, I wish you luck and hope the gods will guide your shots.
Thank you, sir.
If you end up clearing out town and all is safe, make sure you swing back and let us know. I'd like to help the Arnolfsons get settled again.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that.
We hope it won't be necessary, but if we are too wounded to continue anywhere else, count that we might stick around after we return from the town.
You know you're welcome, at least for whatever it's worth, for a short time. And you'll be happy to know that my wife has offered Molly a working position here on our farm. She could stay with us and help out with the tasks around the farm. So I think she's going to stay here.
That's good for her. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Well, gods be with you.
And
You
with
too
you
as well.
You too.
He nods. You guys kind of turn around. You head back to the road, and your 12 men are there, and one of them speaks up, and he's like, "Did the farmer have anything to say? Any word on what's going on around town, or those zombies?"
He said that around 30 of those zombies are heading towards the river. The ones we saw was a small part of what he saw last night, and there might be more coming. That's all he knew.
One of the other guys is like, "Do you think it's something that we should worry about? Is there any chance that many of them could break through the barricades at the bridge?"
There is definitely a chance for anything.
Yeah,
If your men follow our advice, shore up the defenses and aim for their heads or burn them, they should be fine.
Mm-hmm. They'll
All
be
right.
stuck at the barricades for a while at least, so they should be fine picking for the archers.
Okay. You feel like the morale of the men is pretty good at this point. They're like, all right. So you are, as you know, you're about a half mile away from Oak Point. So what do you guys do? You're currently on the North Road, so.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead on.
Yep.
Head on and take a look and see what's happening in town.
Get the business.
All right.
Around at least.
Take them from this world.
At first, maybe scout out like all around a city on a horse really fast.
Yeah. Well, let's get closer, and then Freya and I could do a circle. And
Yeah, I definitely want to check both gates,
Yeah.
see how they're faring, especially the one that we left unlocked, basically.
Yeah.
Check that side first.
So you guys get to the crossroads. You could see that the north gate, the north gate is open.
figured.
Like not.
Zombies lumbering around.
It looks like they pushed through.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any zombies though. That's the curious part.
So they've all left, it seems like.
Well, I mean, you're looking at it from you know, 200 meters away. So
Freya,
you see the town.
You go that way, I'll go that way. And
All
we'll
right.
do a quick circle on the horses.
Okay. So just on horseback, making a quick circle, you don't hear anything in the town. You don't see any zombies in the town, and you don't see any zombies out in the open within sight.
The other gate's closed.
What's that?
Is the other gate closed?
Well, no. So remember how you guys like set up a tree?
Yeah.
Oh, I just froze. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Hear you.
Okay, there we go.
There he is.
So you guys set up that kind of makeshift tree barricade. It's been pushed aside. What's left of the gate looks like it was pushed off to the point where the hinges cracked and the gate fell down. You look in. So anybody who wants to specifically kind of take a moment to make a search roll, you can do so.
I would like to approach like a leader of this squad that is with us on team. Do you have anyone here who knows anything about trekking?
They like look at each other and they're like, no, not really.
Sorry.
I rolled one for searching.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did. I failed. I failed my search.
All right. So anybody else succeed on the search?
I didn't ride up to the town, so I haven't really made a search, but I'll ride up a little bit closer and make a search.
Okay.
I got a 2, so that's good.
All right. So there's enough successes where I was going to make you choose Southgate or Northgate. But since you've succeeded, I'm going to say that with your group of men, your kind of exterior surveillance and reconnaissance, you end up checking both the south and the north. And it looks like a large number, several dozen, broke through the northern gate and then marched north. You see these tracks. The shambler tracks are pretty evident because quite often there's like foot dragging marks and not just clean footprints. But the further away from town, the more they spread out, but they all seem to be going north. And you track this out for a couple hundred yards until you're kind of convinced that they're generally all heading north.
Mm-hmm.
On the south gate, it looks like a similar situation. The breakthrough happened. There was a lot of, shambling, walking, dragging in a kind of tight formation going south and then heading south and west.
We got 2 groups.
Southwest. That's towards the mark on the map,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So the question is, do we pursue them or do we continue our investigation?
I would assume that the south group would make delivery, so they might lead us to whoever is behind it.
Mm-hmm.
We could check Bellows' farm on the way out. Try and check the rubble real quick. Find that other candlestick.
I'm not sure, but I think they would clear it out if it was like abandoned for a week or so. But
It couldn't hurt to check.
I wouldn't
We're
mind
on
checking.
horses.
Do the candlesticks
very long.
react to the other? Do the candlesticks have any sort of reaction to the other candlesticks?
not that I've observed yet.
I have not yet seen them.
Yeah, they don't exactly act as like what is that? Not a tuning fork, but what you would use to find like water or whatever. But anyway, let's go check this farm out and get going.
I just pull one out and see if it reacts anyhow to presents to the tree that I have in my back. To the other two. Nope.
Nope.
All right.
All right.
So Nope. Doesn't seem to be there any reaction.
You guys can ride west to if you wanted to go to the Bellow Farm. You cross over the bridge. You arrive at the ruins of the Bellow Farm, and it looks pretty much the same as it has the past few times that you guys have been through this area.
Is there a chimney seeable from outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a barn too, right?
Yep. Yeah. So if
Just
you
give
guys
us a
want to
few
if you want to fan out and search, go ahead and roll. I will also make a generic roll for your guys.
Hey, I think that's a success.
Yeah.
Yes, I got a
Really
success.
helps.
One.
Okay. So I also had between your guys working in pairs, I had 2 1s as well. So you guys do a thorough search of the Bellow Farm. You do not find any candlesticks.
Worth the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got still yet to find the the consulate. What was, do you guys recall his name?
Vincenzo?
Viceroy. Yeah,
Vincenzo.
Right. So we're still missing 2 candle holders.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we could start heading after.
Just to give you a timeline, by this time it is I'm gonna say like 3 o'clock.
We didn't happen to notice Terran in that group going north, right?
You did not.
No green glows.
Oh. Should we try and catch up to this group before nightfall? We can try and take them out.
I think we can give it a try.
As they are like spread out, easier for us.
Might be our best bet to find some answers.
I've got 2 quivers full of arrows. I'm assuming the soldiers have some arrows.
What's the
too.
range on the longbow?
Good question.
That is a good
Time to
question. I don't know.
consult the book.
Oh, the Book
I
of
think it's
Madness.
120. And
Short bow is all the way up to 450.
Yeah, the range on bows is pretty good in this game.
Yeah. Of
Longbow is
that goes down,
600, 900.
Oh.
I'll be well within range.
We're good.
when I see them.
We're good.
Yeah, but you get a defty
I got one.
-4 penalty for your aim. So
Yeah, it's pretty. The range thing is pretty huge. Okay, so you guys ride south and west and southwest, right? Towards the spot on the map where the hills are.
is the cavalry
Trying to
still
get
with
these
us?
zombies.
Is the cavalry still with you? Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they took that opportunity while you were at the Bellow Farm to like let the horses graze a little bit and eat some rations and stuff. So you guys are riding for about an hour, and this area of the country it's no longer farmland. It's like open prairie with trees and tall grass and stuff. There's no road, there's no paths. You're riding across country. And you ride for, like I said, for about an hour, and the area starts to get a little bit more hilly, and there's a little more tree and like shrubs and bushes and stuff. And as you are riding towards this area, you see about 6 zombies kind of spread out, and they are walking in the same direction that you guys are traveling. So you're coming up on them from behind.
Do we notice if any of them are Terran? Or
Ooh, good question. Let me
What's the distance?
you guys see that they're 100 feet away easily.
Longbow comes out.
I ready my longbow.
2 of the men on horseback get their bows out. You guys, how close do you ride to them before you start shooting?
100 feet's close enough for me.
Me too.
Yeah, that will work, but
So all the other men on horseback get their various weapons out. 2 of them get their bows out, and they get off their horses and they kind of sight these things.
yeah,
Each one of you can make a free attack.
Okay.
I will start with Kail.
Let's see. My range, that would be a 13.
Hit. What's the damage?
And these are D6 or D8 for longbows.
Your longbow is D6.
2 times my sneak attack would be 6 damage.
You hit it, but it's not a headshot.
Right.
Then we'll do Credo next.
Five.
5 is a miss.
No, 16 was the hit.
Oh, yeah. All right. Are you shooting at a fresh one, or are you shooting at the one that Elena shot?
I'm shooting at a fresh one.
Okay. Again, you hit it. Freya, your turn.
that's an 8.
It's a hit.
Let's see. There's yeah, it's a 9 to hit.
Miss. Roll good.
Okay. I have a 7 to hit.
That's a miss. Longbowman number 1. Hit. Longbowman number 2. Miss. All right. Longbowman number 1 does 6 on the same one that Credo shot, and that one falls. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 3 of them turn around slowly and start heading back towards you guys. The other ones are still walking southwest. So, round 2. Elena, you're up.
I'm shooting at one that is coming towards us. That is a 19.
Yes.
2 damage.
Yes, you hit it. It's still not dead. Credo.
Mm-hmm.
14.
Hit. Damn
Oops,
it.
Wrong voice. 6.
Against the one that Elena hit, or a fresh one?
Fresh one.
Okay, it's not dead. Freya.
Dirty 20 for 2.
Still not dead. Roll good.
Zillion bastards.
All right, I'll take a shot at one that hasn't been hit yet. That's a 17.
That's a hit.
And is that would not be a sneak attack anymore because
No.
they saw us? Okay. So 4 damage.
Okay. The longbowmen. Ooh, both longbowmen hit. Good job.
Yes. Well met.
5 and 4. So yours is dead, and Credo, yours is dead. One is still walking towards you guys, but the other, wow. The other ones are still dense and walking southwest, and apparently don't know that you exist. So the one that's walking towards you guys, Elena, you were up.
17 for... God dang it, 1 damage.
Okay, still walking. Credo.
Attacking the same zombie. 17. 5.
Still walking. Freya,
Jeez.
are you attacking the same one that's coming towards you guys? Or
Yep.
you can sneak attack one of the ones that's walking away from you?
No, the one's coming towards us.
Okay.
That's a net 20.
It's dead. You shoot it in the head. It falls.
Nice shot, Freya.
Now, there are still 3 of them walking away from you guys
Mm-hmm.
who don't seem to have noticed your existence.
Time to kill them.
I dismount from my horse.
Hold on.
Oh.
Gizmo, make a intelligence roll under and tell me what the success is.
Oh, it's fail. It's 17 of 16.
Okay. Okay, so we were at Roll Good. Roll Good, you can shoot one of the ones that doesn't know you're there.
How far away are they from us now?
Those ones, they're probably 100 feet.
Okay, I'll take a shot at one. That is a 10.
Miss. Longbowman. Pling. One's a hit. One's a miss. The hit. Good. Okay. And the one that got hit turns around and starts coming towards you guys. The other two are still shambling southwest. Top of the order, Elena.
Shooting at one that's still doesn't notice me. And that's a freaking miss.
Okay. Kratos.
Is it possible for me to do a sneak attack on the two of the zombies that are going the other direction?
You can fire, and, yeah, the one that doesn't see, yeah, so you can shoot at that.
14.
That's a hit. Damage?
6.
Still up. Freya.
Tough bastards.
Yeah, that's a...
Did you multiply that?
3.
Did I have a multiplier on that?
Do you have points in sneak attack?
Oh, yeah. What is it, +3?
How many dots you got?
3.
You have 3 dots?
3.
Yeah, I have 3 dots on sneak attack.
Oh, well, then it's dead.
Oh, it's dead.
18.
Next.
Freya missed. Roll good.
There's two that are, the one that's coming to us is dead, and there's 2 walking away, right?
No, no. Because Kratos attacked one of the ones, he got a sneak attack because he attacked walk away. So there's one that's still up, walking towards you guys. And then there's one that hasn't noticed you.
I'll take a shot at the one that hasn't noticed me. And that is a 13.
Hit. Roll damage. Sneak attack.
Yep. Times 2 is... 1 times 2 is 2.
Okay. Still up.
Let's not forget to get our arrows after this.
Longbowman, fail. Pew, pew. Elena.
All right. The one that hasn't noticed still. 15.
Hit.
That's 4 times 3 is 12.
Chung falls, drops into the field.
Yes.
Kratos, there's still one wounded, but coming towards you.
Back. 7.
Miss. Freya.
It's 18.
That's a hit.
For 3 points.
It's still up. Roll good.
Come on.
This
Someone
zombie.
kill this.
This
Someone kill
stubborn
this
zombie.
That's a 13.
That's a hit.
It's tough.
Damage. Regular damage.
Kill it.
3 damage.
All right. It drops.
Yeah.
It drops like about 15 feet away from you guys. So
Well done, bro. Good.
you sense that some of the men, as brave as they are a little shook by seeing this.
And I'm gonna try and boost their morale a little bit. I'm just gonna go up.
Let's go ahead and make that charisma roll for me.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not doing like saying. I'm just doing something. I'm just going up to each zombie, retrieving an arrow, and smashing their head in. Come on now.
All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a roll for arrow retrieval.
Yeah.
I want to get some too, if I can.
I used like 6, I think.
5, I think.
1, 2,
I used
3,
5.
Yeah, I used 5. Yeah, I used 5.
Okay. Elena, you retrieve 2 of your 5.
Cool.
Roll Good, you retrieve 4.
Sweet.
Freya, you retrieve 5.
Nice.
And Credo, you retrieve 3.
Excellent.
Okay.
Let me
He's
see.
not looking out for green crystals.
For any of the, I look at the older adventurers. Were any of these your friends?
You see, so the men on the horseback are kind of like riding amongst you guys and kind of looking at what you're looking at. And you get the sense that some of them don't recognize any of these people. But you notice that one of the guys is like, he's kind of like dismounted his horse and he's turning a body over with his sword, like so that he can see his face better.
My question was more directed at Freya, Rollgood, and Gizmo. See if, like, hey, is that one of their heirs in return?
You guys don't recognize any of your friends, but you do recognize a few people that were just like townspeople who you had seen, like in the inn in Falcon's Inn.
A few of those were
Are they wearing
citizens.
anything that we could search?
Yes, you can. So, in a nutshell, like whatever they had when they died, they're very likely, still carrying. Some of them have just, commoner clothes, but some of them had, like a belt with a pouch, and some of them, had pockets in their, coats and that kind of stuff. So if you want to take the time to search them, you can. And I will give each one of you an additional dot in search. Since you're, out in the open, it's light, and they're not moving.
The ones I'm moving on to retrieve my arrows, I'm I'm going to check them for the moon symbol, crescent moon symbol in their neck. Just wondering if they might be deceased or if they've been...
If we all just search the ones that we retrieved our arrows out of, it should be a quick order.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the only thing I'll look for.
Okay. All right. Make a D6 roll, Elena.
Okay. Let's see what my dots on. With that +1 you gave me, that's a success.
Okay. You find on one of your bodies a empty vial. It has a cork stopper in it, but it's empty. There's no liquid in it. And you find 4 silver pieces in a pouch.
I take the vial and leave the silver. I don't want it.
Okay. Let's see. Credo.
That's 1 for 2.
Okay. In yours, you find this person has like a purse. Okay, you're not really sure who this was in life. You don't recognize her as somebody from a point that you've seen, but it looked like she was like a middle-aged woman, and she had like a big cloth bag kind of over her shoulder, and there's something kind of solid and heavy in the bag. And you look in, and it's slightly smaller than like a small bowling ball, but it looks like a glass orb that's kind of like opacity is kind of frosty, and it looks kind of like gray inside.
I touch it cautiously and make sure it doesn't do anything crazy.
It basically looks like a crystal ball, and it's in this pouch. And she also has some coins in a pouch. She has 1 gold coin and 7 silver pieces.
I'll take the coin pouch, throw it in her overarm pouch, and take the whole bag.
Okay. Freya.
That's a 4 against 3.
You are searching this person, and you don't find anything really that you think is of value. They have a small wooden statue, basically looks like a hand-carved little wooden statue of like a man.
Should be interesting enough to take with me.
Okay, roll good.
Okay, I rolled a 1.
Okay, you kind of hit the jackpot.
Yes.
The person that you are searching does not look like a resident of Oak Point. They look like they maybe came from somewhere else. They have a pouch with 14 silver pieces.
Wow.
And they have a scroll in a leather scroll case. The leather scroll case is actually like in good shape. And you kind of pull off the top, and there is a scroll rolled up inside of the leather scroll case. It's not sealed with a wax seal or anything, but when you unseal, when you open it up and look at it, it looks like some kind of schematic, like a drawing for some box with an intricate interior and exterior thing. Like it basically looks like perhaps something that a locksmith would use. And there's like a depiction of a key, a depiction of a lock, and then the actual like kind of isometric drawing of a box and how this would all work together.
Okay, because I don't really know a lot about things, I'm gonna take it to Gizmo and let him, he's the learned one of our party, so I take him the scroll and let him have a look at it.
Basically it looks, to you Gizmo, it looks like the schematics for how to build like a safe, a lockbox.
This might be useful to someone, but not right now, right here.
Yep.
Do you want to keep it on your person, or should I keep it?
I mean,
you have a scroll holder, yeah?
Yeah. You can
this came with its own. So. Yeah.
And you could tie it to your horse if you don't want to carry it. Gizmo, are you searching any of the bodies as well?
Just necks for the glow.
Okay. Among the entire group, you do not find anything that has the glowing neck or any evidence of that. Yeah. You also don't see any crescent symbols on the back of their neck or head.
Do one of the bodies look closer to Credo or our new companion, which came from?
The one that Rollgood searched, he looks like he might have come from the south.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd take the crystal ball over to Gizmo and show it to him as well.
I look at it. This probably doesn't tell me nothing right now.
You're not sure whether this has any esoteric kind of magical value or if it's just kind of a prop. You're not really sure. You have studied magics that use things like this, specifically for kind of divination things, but you aren't versed in those kind of spells.
Yeah. It might be useful, at least for theater, but
I'll hold on to it.
Yep.
All right. So with that, you guys kind of finish searching, and you see, you know, the open land continues through this more progressively hilly country with more little groves of trees kind of intermixed.
Are there still tracks of large group, or did they disperse?
It seems like they fanned out a lot more as they got further away from the town.
Yeah, so yeah, let's try to reach the spot.
Okay, so you guys continue. I'm gonna have those of you with ability with searching go ahead and make another set of search rolls to see if you can kind of follow some tracks through this area. It's becoming more challenging because there's like tall grass, but also hilly areas where it's kind of harder to find footprints.
Okay.
Oh.
I got a 5, but I have a 4 points in searching, so
You're able to, like, so you guys go another, mile, and then you kind of start to lose track of the majority of tracks. You still see some that kind of head south and some that head west, but they're so spread out now that you're miles away from town. You feel like if you just generally head in the direction of southwest, you could continue and maybe get to the area that was indicated on the maps. You're definitely in a more topographically interesting area. Like you go up over a rise, and sometimes you come down and there's little ravines, little groves of trees, wooded areas that you go through, and then you come out into a clearing. So you're kind of making your way through this area. And at about 5 p.m., it's still light. You can tell that, the direction you're going in, because the sun is, in the west, and it's kind of starting to set. And you guys get to this rise in the hills, and there's a descent into kind of a deeper ravine, and then another rise to another hill. And that other hill across the ravine has kind of a flat plateau, and it looks like a bunch of trees have been chopped down, because you can actually see across to it. And what you see is a mob of zombies. You see about 20 zombies all clustered at the top of this plateau, and they're not doing anything. They're just literally like standing in a big mob, kind of in a big circle.
How far away is this then?
About 150 feet. So you like get to the top of this rise, and you're at the same level, but there's a dip down into this ravine, and then a sharp incline up to this hill that is plateaued, that's kind of flat where they all are. And part of you is wondering how they even got there, because you're looking at this ravine, getting down, like you would have to get off your horses and climb down, and maybe even use rope to get down into the ravine and then to get back up. But from where you're at, you don't see any means by which they crossed. Now, like I said, they're about 150 feet away, and it looks like this ravine goes for hundreds of yards. So it looks, like in both directions. Like
the only way over there is through the ravine then?
From where you are, that would seem to be the case.
Yeah. And I would like to have a look at the map that Gizmo has and see if we can find any landmarks that match the map.
There's no landmarks. I mean, it's literally a series of like little mounds that indicate the hilly area.
Okay, nothing more detailed. Okay.
It's quite primitive.
How Rivin, I'm not Englishly versed. It's like a crevice or something?
Yes, like a crevice. So it's a sharp descent from where you are, about 50 feet down, and then it goes about 20 feet wide, and then it goes 50 feet back up to another hill, and they are inside of kind of standing in the center of that hill where these trees have been cleared. And you know that these trees have been cleared because you see stumps, and the stumps don't look new. They look like they were, like the trees were cut down long ago. But you don't see anywhere like disturbed by movement along either of these hills. You don't see like tracks of how the zombies maybe climbed up, so you're not quite sure.
Can we tell from our vantage point if it's just the 20 that we can see, or if that extends down into another portion?
You can't see beyond. You would have to go. You would have to go like around quite a ways to scout out the perimeter.
Oh, I have an idea. I turn to the group, and I'm not sure. Let's find some tree hanging over crevice, take one of the candle holders, and try to catch their attention so they might fall down.
It's a good idea.
Do you want to climb over to the other side of the crevice going back up, or just our side?
Over crevice, so they would have to either climb a tree or fall down. You think it's a good idea, bad idea?
I think anything
We know that they
draws them out is a good idea.
Yeah. Could be something we could try.
Yeah. Do we see any of those zombies on the other side having a green glow?
They're pretty densely packed in. So the ones that you see, that aren't part of the big mob of them, don't seem to have anything coming from them.
I'm going to dismount, and I'm gonna hand my reins to whoever, and I'm gonna start just looking around the ravine and looking at things.
Yeah, just to be clear, if when you guys got to the top of this hill to see over the ravine, you wouldn't have been on horseback.
Oh.
Because the climb up would have been too difficult. So
right.
And plus there would have been 17 of you guys. So just a few of you guys who went up to look over. The rest of you guys are back down the hill, about 30 feet back down the hill. So your soldiers are kind of waiting there.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna check out the ravine anyway then. So.
All right. So do you go around the perimeter, or are you crawling down into the ravine?
Perimeter first, not going down there just yet.
Okay. So you make stealth roll. I mean, you're very far away from them, so I'll give you a bonus of 1 dot.
Stealth roll. That's still a fail with that because I only had 1 dot, so that's with the extra, that's 2. But I still rolled a 3.
Okay. You're not particularly stealthy, but you don't see your movement as a problem because the mob of zombies don't turn around and notice you.
They're a little far.
You guys, you had. Well, let me ask you this. So you came at this from the northeast. You were heading southwest. So do you head south and west around the ravine, or you head north and west around the ravine? Like, which way are you trying to go?
No, I'll go north and west first.
Okay. You go a ways. And as you kind of go around from the point where you guys saw, you see there's some trees, so it's hard to see the zombies, but you definitely saw that there were more. There were definitely more zombies in that mob.
Yeah.
While you still have, some light before dusk, you continue going, and eventually you see that the ravine kind of narrows and that it sort of ends, and there's the land is at the level where it's basically like you can just walk right up.
Right, and get over to the other side.
Yeah, make a search check.
The fail. I got 4 out of 3.
All right. I mean, you don't notice anything in particular, but it occurs to you that at this point, like, if this is the terminus of one end of the ravine, and it kind of hooked back up around, you could go back by your friends and scout the other direction, or you could just go around this open land. But you feel like this open land has less hiding places.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go that far off. I'm gonna head back and let them know what I saw.
Okay.
That you can get around all the way over there, and instead of having to go through the ravine, of course. And then I'll start searching the other way too, if anyone wants to help me out.
I'll go with him this time.
Okay.
Thank you, Kratos. I knew I could count on you.
Of course. Are we being stealthy?
Yes.
Success. So
All right.
My stealth outdoor is 3.
That was a 1 for my stealth, so
Okay.
pretty good.
You guys don't sense the zombies even take note, but you are very stealthy. You make your way, and in similar fashion to how you traversed going northwest, as you go south and west, this ravine curves around to almost the exact same kind of distance.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to this terminus, again, the incline is a lot less perilous, and it has this open kind of land that would connect to the plateaued hill that you guys found.
Right.
Can we discern which direction they would not be looking at us if we traveled?
Well, so the interesting thing, actually, both of you make search rolls, because you might notice this as you're getting to the end of that side of the ravine.
A 1.
I got a 2.
You see a lot of zombie tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not right where you are, but like a little bit in. And it almost looks like they went south and then west, like around the ravine, and then came up into the plateaued hill.
Interesting.
And you notice a couple other things too. A bit wider than the zombie tracks, you see boot prints, like heavy boots.
Of course we do. Shall we continue?
They look like boot tracks from orcs, maybe. Don't you think? Kato?
They're pretty similar.
I've got some payback for these guys.
As do I. Let's go inform our friends.
Yes, let's.
Okay. You guys stealth back. You get to the group. By the time all this stuff is done, the men kind of like pulled back. They like pulled back to a grove of trees about 100 yards away from the hill that leads to the ravine. You guys kind of circle up. It's starting to get dark, and the men kind of wanted to get a sense of, where are we with things? What are we going to do? That kind of stuff.
Well, firstly, we informed them of what we found, and I summarized that as I did.
He found what we are looking for, but you won't like it.
I found what I'm looking for. Something to
Add
kill.
more men, we could close in on both sides, but I don't want to split a 17-man party.
No.
Is there like forest around?
So the crest, the crest of each end of the ravine kind of meets at a certain point, and then there's open land, no trees, just open land that leads on a kind of steady, even incline to the plateaued hill. And that's looks like where the zombies went around the ravine and then came up the hill to the plateaued area.
What was color of the land in crevice?
What was the color of it? No one went down into the crevice.
Yeah.
A little perilous to get down right there.
Mm-hmm.
What I see is crescent, basically.
Yeah.
Me too.
Right.
That's right. The shape of the ravine, in fact, does make a crescent.
And get as close as we can with cover, and then assess our attack move.
Okay.
How dark is it? Or is it getting dark now that if we...
It is dusk.
Okay.
So none of you have night vision.
Right.
Remember that. The men, most of the men have shields and either a sword or an axe. And they don't have a magical third arm to carry a torch. So you guys got to figure out the logistics behind this.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we should push a nighttime attack.
No.
Really
That we
I think we
create
should
our
take
own
a
base
rest
camp
and-
here in the woods.
We would be at a disadvantage going in at night. We
Agreed.
could hardly see them coming. And we've been traveling all day, so we better rest up.
Yes, I agree.
Said I probably do with we're a large enough group to have a three-person watch.
Yeah.
I'll put
So
my
I think
tinkering
we're better
skills
off
to work.
taking a rest.
Okay.
Is
So your guys, like I said, that you've pulled back, and you're, let's say 100 meters from the ravine. So you're pretty far away. Do you want to have a fire? Do you want to have torches? Or do you want to keep it quiet and no light?
Keep
What's
it quiet
your
and dark?
I think keep it quiet.
We should keep it quiet, but we should still make a fire and have torches at the ready. So in case of an attack at night, we can quickly just hit that, and then we have light to see and not fighting in the dark.
Okay.
Remember, sister, remember what Matthias told us about lighting his fire, and it drew the attention of zombies.
Well, that's why I don't want to light it. But if we come under
Just
attack
at the
anyway,
ready.
we
Got
need
it.
it.
There
So
you
the
go.
guys gather kindling and any dry wood they could find. They kind of have everything ready. They give it a little soak with some oil. There's a tinder box. They find some torches, and they kind of start to prepare that stuff. The other guys have some water from their water skins and eat some dried rations. The 12 so basically I'm going to say you guys are leading this expedition. So how do you do the 3 watches? How do you
One
work
of us and 2 of the soldiers.
Okay.
And
I'll go first.
up on the hill, spread out a little.
I'll go first watch with 2 soldiers.
Okay. So Elena,
I'll take second watch.
you're going to make a wisdom roll under,
Let's see
and your
what mine
soldiers
is.
will as well. Nice.
12.
Nice.
I rolled really well. 3, and I have a 12 wisdom.
Okay. So your guys are watching the camp. Everybody else is asleep. You sneak up to the crest, and you look over the ravine, and all you have is moonlight at this point. Okay. But in the moonlight, you see that the mob of zombies is still there. However, you see a green glow barely coming through in what looks like the middle of the mob of zombies. Okay, so imagine there's like a green glow and then like 6 layers of zombies surrounding this green glow. So it's just a big circle of zombies, right?
Difficult to see.
So you can't see the green glowing zombie, but you could see the glow like above their heads and kind of between their heads. And they haven't moved. They occasionally like rock back and forth. They're not making any groans or sounds. And they're just there. And that's literally it for your entire watch. Like they don't do anything. You get up, you go check on your guys. They're all good. Nothing on the perimeter. You go back to the camp, you go back up the crest, blah, blah, blah. 3 hours later, you're done. You tag out. Who's on second watch? Okay.
I believe it's Credo.
All right. Go ahead and make the wisdom roll under for me, Credo.
My wisdom is a 12, and I rolled a 5, so 7 under.
Nice. And your 2 guys rolled really well too.
Nice.
You do the same thing. You see now by it's just after midnight, and you are kind of doing the same thing, and you notice that there's no movement. The zombies are still kind of in a tight huddle, and in the middle of that huddle you see that green glow. Your entire watch remains that way. At the completion of your watch, you go tag out and you wake up Freya. Freya, you and your 2 guards Go ahead and make your wisdom roll under.
That's an over 10 against 7.
Okay. You're well into the scope of the night. It's like 4 in the morning. You've got some moonlight, and you were able to see that the mob of zombies hasn't moved. And I'm assuming that each one of you, like when you woke up, your relief, you kind of told them what you saw. So it's the same thing as what Credo described to you, and you see that they haven't moved. You see the slight green glow in the center of them. And then you hear, hey, knock it off. I said back up. Like you hear yelling from the camp. You don't see your zombies move, but you hear it behind you. Roll good. Gizmo. Elena.
Yep.
And Credo.
Yep.
Yes.
You are awoken to the sound of some conflict. Roll initiative.
Shit.
19.
No, it's the D6 for initiative.
D6.
Ah, shit.
Told you I left
I
myself.
knew it was good. Knew it. I rolled a
I got
It's
a 3.
6.
All
I
right,
got a
hold on.
6.
Okay.
Okay,
Roll good. What'd you have?
6.
Lena?
6.
Credo?
3.
3?
You add dexterity to it? Am I correct or not?
Yeah. Gizmo?
Then it would be 8.
If you add dex, then I'd have an 8, I guess.
I would too.
I don't have anything on my decks.
Freya, you were last because you were not there. And then they have a. Oh no, 1.
So they go last.
Gizmo.
Yep.
You see.
3 liches.
You remember Henrik? You see Henrik biting. Now, I wish I could turn the screen because you guys aren't going to believe this. So I literally, I don't like to do this all the time because it moves my whole setup, but you really do have to see this roll because when I rolled it, I was like, oh no, that's much worse than what I thought it would be. And so
Told you we should have chopped that dude's arm off.
yeah, so now you could see what that is, right? That
Shit.
Oh, he crit the motherfucker? God damn.
So
I'm gonna ghost him. Come on, let's kill him.
So here's what happens. You see Zombie Henrik tear into the neck of his very nice friend.
He pulled a Terran.
George.
Yeah, he did.
And George is like, oh, and just bouts of blood shoot out.
Oh.
And
Mercy kill.
and you were the first one, Gizmo, to hear the racket that woke you up. Okay, so you have nothing
Carnage.
equipped, but it is your turn, Gizmo. What do you want to do?
I guess I get to my back and pull out probably a sling.
Okay, good. Elena, you were awoken also by this struggle, and you see this simultaneously. Just Zombie Henrik rips the throat out of one of the other guys.
I go to light the fire.
Okay, you roll out of your bedroll and go over to the fire. You're frantically looking around in the dark for the tinderbox, and you grab the tinderbox. Brolgood, same thing.
I wake up and grab my rapier.
Okay, you do. This brings us to soldiers. No.
It's bad, isn't it?
The one other guard he like panics and he swings his sword at Zombie Henrik and misses. Remember, this is dark. You guys just have the fight.
Yeah.
Credo, you are up.
Well, everything is going on now, so I don't have to be stealthy at all, do I?
No, there's no stealth. You
Okay.
feel like you just went to sleep and now there's some nightmarish hellscape happening. You just see the silhouette of somebody biting someone else. You see another guy swing a sword. There's some combat going on.
I roll over to grab my long sword.
Okay.
And then I see if I can see well enough to engage.
You can't. Next round you can.
Shit.
These guards. Okay. Yes. Good. Okay. All the other guards are in a scramble. They're like, "Oh, what's going on? We're being attacked!" And there's like yelling and chaos, and you hear swords being drawn from scabbards. Back to Zombie Henrik. Zombie Henrik will attack you guys.
For one, huh? Another 20.
No, not another
No.
19. But I mean, not that matters. Zombie Henrik bites the other guard who was on guard duty with the poor guard whose neck just got ripped out. Bites him, and that guard is not dead, but has been bitten.
Jeez.
Freya, you I'm assuming are running down to the camp.
Yeah, my initial idea was that to signal to the two guys with me to stay up on the hill and watch the zombie horde, and me running down.
Okay, you're running down.
Yeah.
You
And
get there.
if I'm anyway within range, I would try and lob an arrow at the Henrik.
You can't even see. You just see silhouettes of people by the camp fighting. You don't even you're too far away. Gizmo, you have your sling.
Okay. Am I close enough to see the silhouette?
You see someone who looks like a zombie biting another person. You saw the first guy that you saw get bitten fall. He just hits the ground.
Okay. Then I give it a shot to the random of those two.
You are at -2.
Yeah. And that's 8, so miss.
Your stone flies by it and hits Freya. No, just kidding. Elena, you're up.
Still trying to light the fire.
Ooh, yes, that's right.
Jesus.
Roll a d6. Just tell me what the number is.
4.
We can hit.
You light the fire, and because they pre-oiled it, it goes up. So now
Great.
you have vision, which is
Great.
good for everybody else.
But bad
roll
for
good.
us because the horde can see us now.
Roll good. You can see now. And
Okay.
you see Zombie Heinrich has bitten the other guard, who dropped his sword and cries out in pain as his arm flesh is torn and is sticking out of Zombie Heinrich's mouth. What do you do?
Okay, I'm going to do something I haven't done before. It's in the rules. It's called charge.
Yes.
I'm going to use my complete movement to get to him. I'll do double damage, but my AC will be a -2 the next round.
Okay.
So I'm going to charge him and see what I get here. And that's a 19.
That is a hit.
And then I do double damage with my rapier. That's a D8. And that's 12 damage.
Is it D8?
Nice.
I thought it was D6 in this game.
Oh,
No, it's
sorry.
D8.
I thought it was a D8, my rapier.
Let me see.
It's a D8. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. All right.
Page 27 if you want to look.
Okay. How much total damage then?
12 damage.
You kill Zombie Heinrich. He drops. Kratos, you are up.
I'm
With
gonna
the
press.
fire flaring, you're like you have your sword in your hand, and you see Brolgood just lunge forward and shove his rapier through the head of Zombie Heinrich, and Zombie Heinrich just falls.
I'm going to press and mercy kill the guys that were attacked by Henrik.
One moment. One of them is dead and on the ground. The other one is holding his arms screaming. Which one are you mercy killing?
The one that's dead on the ground already.
I see. So you're going to try to decapitate him?
Yes.
Make your attack roll.
20. Dirty.
Okay. Damage.
6.
You cut off his head effectively with your longsword. Freya, you see, so you're running back to the camp. You see flame flare up. And you see Elena like jump back as the oil-soaked fire flares up. You see Roll Good jump up from his bedroll and lunge his rapier through the head of Heinrich, who drops. And then you see Kratos roll over and just chop down with his longsword onto the head of another guard and cut the head off of this guard.
Mm-hmm.
You also see your other guard that was on guard duty with you holding his arm, and he's like, chop it
off.
It stings. What do you do?
Fear that he will end up as Heinrich, taken from a small distance. I'm shooting him with my arrow, and that's a 4.
Roll a d6.
That's a 4.
Okay. Your arrow doesn't hit anybody else. Top of the order, Gizmo. You're up.
Okay. There is fire going on, so.
Oh yeah, you can see.
I turn to the men. Let's get to the horses and get out of here. They will be here soon. Yeah.
Where are we gonna go?
To the darkness.
Somewhere we won't be seen.
I'm not sure if I want to do that.
You can stay here and wait for the horse.
As you guys are discussing this, you notice that the other soldiers have all like drawn their weapons, and they're kind of looking suspiciously at a few of you. And one of them speaks up, and he kind of like holds his sword out towards Kratos, and he's like, and then he looks at Freya, and he goes, "Why are you attacking us? Why did you cut off his head? We could have saved him. Why'd you shoot him?"
Have you not seen what happened? Did you not see what happened to Heinrich?
No,
when
I didn't. It was dark, and I was sleeping.
He turned his arm wound, and he turned zombie and attacked us. So we finished the job.
Look at the other guard. Look at his arm. He's mauled. You heard him scream. And it's only a matter of time where the other guy that's still here is gonna turn and attack us as well.
I asked you for the option to remove Heinrich's arm when that was a chance, when there was still a chance to save him. But no one wanted to, so now he's dead.
Kratos, you're going to make a charisma roll under.
God. 5 under 11.
Okay.
Ooh.
You see that the soldiers are kind of like wary, but at the same time, like some of them are like, they nod, and then one of them kind of looks at you and he says, "So if you get touched by those things, they break your skin, you become one of them?"
That is what it appears to be. Have you sustained injury?
No. And he looks around and the other ones are like, "No."
I think we all need to strip down and search each other.
Is the third guy still screaming?
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Someone put a gag in his mouth.
Tourniquet that arm.
They let me see what their reaction is. So for those who don't play Lamentations of the Flame Princess, I'm probably not doing this right, but morale is important. And there's a serious morale check happening right now. So
they're all gonna flee and leave us.
some of them are not. Some of them kind of back away, and then like one guy's like, "Wait, put a tourniquet on his arm to cut it off." And when he asks that, the guy with the bleeding arm is like, "No one's cutting off my arm."
Then you want to turn zombie then. That is your choice, my friend. Turn zombie and die. Or let us try this and see if it works.
Okay.
And there is no guarantee it will work.
One of the guards steps forward and says, "He's right. It happened to Heinrich. Put a tourniquet on your arm, fool. Do you want to live with one arm or do you want to die now?" And the other guy's like, "No one's doing that." You see two of the guards pull their swords out and they get closer to the wounded guy as if they're protecting him.
Well, it's your men. You can decide if you want what you want to do with them. We don't have to stay here.
Just be wary of him.
You know now to better keep a closer eye.
He's not getting behind me. At all. Ever. How many times do we have to see this happen?
All of you should probably make a perception. Make a wisdom roll under. Let's do that.
6 under 12.
Fail.
I'm 1 over.
I'm 8 over.
I'm 2 against 7, so I win.
You hear in the distance, you hear like the low murmur of multiple groans.
I remember I kept the one of those guards with me up on the hill.
I'm running up. I'm gonna run up and I gotta see what these zombies are doing if they're coming.
Checking on the horde.
You get to the top and the guard is like, there's no movement that I can see, but they started making noise just like within the last moment when all that sound down there started to happen, but they're still in that big clump.
Good. Send one of you if they move towards us or out and around to the edges and come this way.
I'm the only one here. What?
All right.
You mean
I thought there was 2. All right. Just come back if they start moving around one way towards us. Let us know.
I feel that they have a singular consciousness.
Good job, Steve. And I can go back. The zombies are still there. They're starting to make a little bit of sound, so let's keep it down.
The guy with the wounded arm, they've tied a tourniquet around his arm and they've bandaged it.
Good luck with that. What time of the night is it now?
It's about
morning now.
4:30 in the morning.
So, I'm gonna kick the fire out. We don't need that anymore.
I believe there were 3, possibly even more wounded in the attack. We need to confirm the wounded.
So you killed zombie Heinrich. Good killed him.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that he bit in the neck who died, Fredo cut off his head, and the third guy is not dead.
The third guy has got the tourniquet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So just that one left.
No one goes
taking
back.
My eye off that dude.
None of the soldiers go back to sleep. They all get their like padded armor on and their boots and everything, and they're kind of sitting on stumps around, or not stumps, but just kind of on logs in the area and eating rations.
The hell is sleep. Elena is doing the same. Not really.
After about a half an hour, the guard that was up by the ridge comes down and tells you that the horde is moving away. It's moving west towards the opening of the plateau.
We still got what, like another hour until daylight? We're not going to get those horses up there, though. That's the sad part.
I could probably take him round the hill.
The other side.
I'm trying. About the only thing we can do if we want to keep our horses ourselves.
So the zombies are all moving in one direction?
They're moving west. They're basically leaving the crescent.
Right.
Okay.
With them evacuated, maybe we should inspect the crescent.
Yeah, I think if we come around the other way, I'd like to have a look at it myself.
We could do that, or we could try and ride around and maybe ambush them.
We don't know what their numbers are.
Even if
there were probably
20,
30,
like
20 or 30.
Yeah.
Even if it
so
goes,
there wasn't much more than what we could see from the ridge.
Are they headed towards the plain? Like
yeah.
We might be able to arrow them down a little bit from really far away. So
I'll explain it like this. We could ambush. Sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I'll go ahead.
Like maybe on horses and like keeping distance.
That's kind of what I was gonna say. We can ambush from the horses, at least the bowmen, and then kite them, and then keep just rinse and repeat. And if we need to, the swordsmen and axemen can act as a guard towards the bowmen if they get too close.
Yeah. So attack and tactical retreat.
Yep, pretty much.
This is a plan that might work in our favor a little bit.
Okay.
We'll try.
So
there's no summoning.
But were there any other people than zombies? I asked the guard.
no, not that he saw.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys are going to go around to where the crescent opens out into open land. Are you going northwest or southwest?
Probably south. That's
where
where
the
the
zombies
majority of the zombie footsteps were.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's probably best if we go up to that plateau they were staying on, and they left from, to see if we can see anything on the ground there.
So, 3 of your soldiers are going to stay behind with the wounded guy at this camp.
Okay.
There's 4 more zombies.
Yep.
I was going to say, make sure to tie him up.
They apparently don't want to listen, so we can tell them to tie him up all we want. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I'm putting them out of my mind.
Yeah, me too.
We got a mission, a job.
Yeah.
So that still gives you 7 guys that are armed, armored, and ready to go. So
yeah.
You guys get on horses, you start heading southwest, and you go around the ravine, the Crescent Ravine. And just as the light is coming up in the east, kind of over your shoulder, up ahead, you see a pretty wide swath of zombies. And they're still like 200 feet away. But it looks like they've come out of the crescent and are kind of rounding towards you. So they're kind of coming towards you guys.
The same group?
Yeah.
Oh. Coming towards us.
Take pot shots at him if we like.
And by towards you, I mean essentially they're heading back northeast.
Oh, so they turned around basically.
Towards the village.
Probably back towards people.
Probably towards Gizmo with his stack of
handle holders. Yeah.
So
I draw my bow and arrow.
I would like to try something.
Yeah.
Gizmo, let's think about what we can do with our candle holders. Remember the last time, Gizmo, you had one. they followed you everywhere you went.
I had 4 on my person.
I have an idea. If we try to make either a triangle or a square with 3 or 4 of the candle holders surrounding the horde of zombies to see what their actions would be. If we could do something like that stealthily.
We could do that while 2 of you are doing that. Some of us could build a trap hole, like dig a hole in the ground with spikes and hang the candlesticks over it. And as they approach the candlesticks, they could fall to their demise.
You're not going to have enough time to make it big enough hole.
You got the spirit. You got the spirit, my friend. But we don't have the time for it.
It's better to have 4 of us ride out into a square.
All right, you guys
circle
keep playing
the
tag
horde
with the zombies. I'll wait and see what happens.
But I'm not sure if we want to split the party that way.
If we play attack, the other members could shoot them from the sides, lower their number without gathering their attention.
Yeah, essentially we need bait. Who wants to be bait, and then the other people can attack from the sides.
Well, I would say Gizmo is bait because he already has the candle holders anyway.
He's squishy. If they get him, he's dead. He's a squishy.
Are you guys going to split up the candle holders? Are you going to split up the candle holders?
I have 3 in my pack, and I think Gizmo has
3
as well.
And Freya should have 1.
Yeah, because we have 7.
All right, Elena, do you want to flank them with me and we'll shoot the stragglers?
Yeah, I mean, you and I can form 1 unit and attack from our point, and then the others can attack from their point.
Yeah, I can take a couple of guards that have bows and flank on the other side.
Okay, what I need to know is who has candle holders and where are they going?
Brogood and Gizmo has candle holders, and we are probably staying on horses and for.
Are you close to each other, or are you splitting up?
I want to split up so that we can have something.
Roll good. How far away are you going?
I want to be at least 50 feet away from all the other from Gizmo and from Freya.
Okay. Roll good. You ride south. And you notice that a portion of, this is not immediately, but with a little bit of a delay, a portion of the zombies start to split off and go south towards you. The other portion continue to shamble towards Gizmo.
Okay, seems like we have a plan. I try to assess how fast they move.
They cannot move as fast as a horse.
Yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm. How far are they now?
100 feet away.
Okay.
And where's Freya in relationship to Gizmo and myself?
I'm assuming everybody else is spread out so that they are within range for ranged weapon attacks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you conduct your plan in the way that you said, where you're basically using Brolgood and Gizmo as bait, the zombies will continue to follow Brolgood and Gizmo. The rest of you guys, if you're attacking from ranged attack, can take shots on them.
Yeah.
Okay, and no one's getting close to the zombies.
I shout at Brolgood, let's ride around the crescent and use it as the center point, and let
Okay. As you guys do this, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that just strategically, if you follow the plan that you made, where you keep your distance and you're just taking shots at them from a distance, splitting up the zombies, okay? You can subtract let me think, 30 of them, 60 arrows, okay, between all of you. So how many of you have bows? Raise your hand, thumbs up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if each one of you minuses off 15 arrows, no, I'm sorry, because I forgot the 2 longbowmen. Each one of you minus off 10 arrows, you can wipe out the entire horde. Of those 10 arrows, I'll say that each one of you can reclaim each one of you can reclaim 4. So really you're only minusing off 6.
Okay.
Now, at the end of this slaughter festival, which takes like about a half an hour, all of the zombies are down. You are going from zombie to collect arrows, and you come across Zombie Terran. And in Zombie Terran's pack is a candle holder. You also come across Zombie Arizin.
Is there one zombie with the green glow that we noticed?
You see Zombie Bellow, but there's no green glow. Okay. Do you investigate his neck region?
Yes, definitely.
You see where if you make a cut, you can extract the gem.
Yep, doing this.
Okay. You extract the gem.
Seems used.
And
yeah, it does. It's not glowing anymore.
One more question. Arizin had also a medallion that belonged to
Igar.
Igar?
Yes. You see Igar's holy symbol.
Okay, I would like to take that.
Okay. Fanning out in the field now that the sun has kind of come up, you search. I'm going to say between you guys and the soldiers, you kind of do a bunch of searching, and there is quite a lot of random things, like boots and pouches and stuff. But there's a total of 32 silver pieces spread out between some of these bodies.
I'd say let the soldiers have it.
That's what I would think too.
That is smart, because that greatly improves their
morale,
their general morale, and they seem to be a little more encouraged by having some measure of sharing.
Maybe I can help with that.
Being valued.
I'm gonna grab because I know as I do my search, I'm gonna search Terran. He had a couple decent bottles of decent drink, and I'll throw the soldiers two bottles, and I'm gonna take one.
Okay, so you guys spend that time, and you go back to the camp. You see the 3 soldiers that were at the camp. They're not at the camp, but as you get to the camp, you see about 30 feet away that they've dug a pit. Mm-hmm. And you see they're tossing bodies into the pit, and one of the bodies is the guy who was wounded.
They had to kill him.
And you see like the one guy look up and kind of like wipe sweat off of his face, and his hands are covered in dirt, and he just looks at you guys and he says, "You were right.
I'm sorry you had to lose your friend."
2 of guys.
By the way, Bill, while we were dealing with the corpses of the zombies, I also wanted to go up to the plateau where they were staying overnight and see what I can find there.
Well, all right. So
we can do that in a minute.
Yeah. So you guys kind of like do a regrouping, a cleanup. You have some water and some rations. The soldiers kind of take a few moments to do some like eulogizing over the graves and pray, and they bury their dead. You pack up the camp, And then all of you in cavalry, well, not all of you, obviously, but the remaining living people in cavalry form, you ride around to the mouth of the crescent and you ride up. And you get to the plateau and you see, as you kind of approach the area where they were mobbed around, the first thing is that you see like the tree stumps that were cut down. There's a ring of them as you're standing in the plateau. And you kind of, you get to the center of this and you can see now that there are 9 tree stumps. And these look like, it doesn't look like they were cut down like recently. These look old. But as you get closer, you see that the tree stumps themselves are petrified. They're not like rotten with like mushrooms growing off of them. They're like stone. Whenever these trees were cut down, these were ancient trees because they're like wide enough to like have a table for 4 people.
Are there any markings or indentations in the tree stumps?
No, but all 9 of them are petrified.
Same material as the candle holders. And I ask,
you think perhaps this is the case. In the center of the plateau, you see a large stone slab. And it basically looks like the top of a crypt, like a gravestone.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that there once was some kind of writing etched into it, but it is long ago faded.
What do you think, Gizmo? Sacrifice altar?
I mean, it's in the ground. It's like this is the point where you feel like they were all circled around.
Right, they were looking. Okay, I got you.
I want to open my book and try to compare this to rituals towards summon, which are written there in the spell.
Make a intelligence roll under.
5, which is intelligence, which is 11 under.
Ooh. So you know your spell.
Yeah.
And you know that the circumstances under which you do your spell, much like magic, if you have the right elements surrounding you, if you're in the right location, if you've done the right preparations and research, all of this has an impact on the effectiveness of your magic. And you feel like this is part of it. You feel like whatever this stone conceals might be the point from which a summoning could happen. And you definitely feel like there's a correlation between the 9 candlesticks and the 9 stumps on this plateau.
Reach into my bag where my crystal ball is and see if it's doing anything.
It is not.
Well, do we? Is it like coffin in the middle?
It kind of seems like the lid to a coffin, but it's like instead of being 6 feet down in a hole, it's like at the surface of the plateau.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you could somehow get something under there, you might be able to pry it open.
You could try and dig it out. Mm.
Or make someone large enough to lift the lid.
Well, I mean, you have 9 soldiers behind you.
Yeah, we could dig it out far enough that we could push it off to the side.
Remember the last time we removed a tomb cover?
Well, I
Not happening this time. I promise.
No, I'm talking about the Lich.
Oh.
Not your debacle, sir. Gizmo, that was quite wonderful.
Well then, let's see what's underneath.
Oh, we could only slide it open just far enough to
Just a little.
step a blade into.
Okay, well, none of you have anything for leverage, like a crowbar? If you do, that will have an impact. Otherwise, you're going to need to make an initial, like, strength roll just to try to get it open.
No, I don't have anything.
I don't think so.
Perhaps if it's if the lid sticks out far enough, you could tie a rope around part of it and a pulling contest.
I'll look. What I'll do is, because there were some trees not that far away, I'll see if I can go find a stout branch or two to act as leverage.
Okay, so somebody
I'll
with
start wrapping
decent
rope around
strength
the
needs to
stone.
make an initial strength roll.
Mine's a +1. What else? What's everybody else got?
I also have a +1.
Freya's
Okay.
got
I'm a +2.
I
Alright.
have
About you, Grater?
I have +1. +1.
+0.
I mean, well, once we get some branches, I suppose Elena, Freya, and Kratos will give it a go.
Yeah, is it a roll under?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make your rolls.
And for the part that we're pushing, somebody should be standing by with a blade to step into the into an open raid.
Everybody should be ready.
Yeah, I'm learning.
I rolled 6 under my strength.
Okay.
And,
I'm 13 under, so
I rolled 3 over.
Okay. So you at this point are able to get it up high enough to do like a blade, and then the blade helps you to get a little leverage to do this the branch, and the branch helps you get it, and there's like it's like a 4-man process, and you basically flip the lid over and it just lands on the dirt and you see the stone frame, like the frame of a coffin made of stone, made of sturdy stone, but the bottom is not stone.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the bottom being stone, you see stairs made of stone that descend into the hill. And that is where we'll end this episode of Lamenters. Tune in next time to find out what happens, who lives, and who dies. Peace out, everybody.
Hello, it's me, Wizzy. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. And then don't forget to tune in to the next episode of whatever show you are just watching, and crafting videos and DM tips and pro tips for vlogging and all sorts of gaming things.